Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash. Send double honor to the apostles, elders, bishops, great millstone. Send much peace, love, and salutations to y'all came out there pushing the word of Yah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, and sincerity and truth. This is Brother Ariala. And this is a path to the Motb update. I called it AI governance for the Sheeple is coming. I was watching this video right here. AI is creating a new God, and we're not ready. Guy by the name of Motb on AI tech arms race with China and universal basic income UBI. Very interesting video. They talk about a lot of things. I pulled 4 clips from this video. More than 2 hours. I watched most of it. I didn't finish it, but I watched most of it, and I thought it was interesting. We are coming into the age of basically AI consciousness, where you're going to have artificial super intelligence, and these AIs are going to be running pretty much everything that we see that governs our world. That's why you see the term AI governance starting to pop up, because the technology that Esau is bringing forth is going to govern your life. It's going to tell you where to go, what to do, how to do it, where to do it, and penalize you if you go outside the boundaries that have been set by the system. This is this Motb system, and we've been telling people for years that this is coming, and you see how quickly these things escalated. You had a couple of years ago when they started to launch these, chat bots and AI systems that you can interact with. You see how quickly these things are growing. They say that every 5.9 months, the intelligence of AI is doubling. And that's extremely rapid. And that's without any increase in computing power. And obviously we know that there's an increase in computing power, bro. So one of the things I want to highlight is the people, we live in an echo chamber in this truth. We're in an echo chamber. So, we kind of think that, people are against this technology. People are extremely for this technology, and they're not going to fight back against it. They're going to freely accept this AI technology. And I'm going to show you the sentiment in general that not just the so-called white man has, but people all around the world, has towards this thing, man. Shalom, Maki Abashim El Shabrakatah.
Hey, Shalom, man. Y'all about to miss Shabbat. Shalom, Shalom.
As you can see, we got the elder brother required quorum jumping on, man. He just got out of camp. I hit him up to see if he wanted to jump on and get on this thing with me. And so the water for jumping on.
Yeah, the water, man. Shalom.
Kind. And as I was saying, I got a few clips I'm gonna play. And if you ever want to chime in with your ideas and thoughts, just please do. I'm gonna start out with the scripture right here. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 15. It says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." All right, and so we're moving into this Motb system at record breakneck speeds. AI is advancing itself quickly, and I'm just now really kind of studying it. And we've seen what this VO3 could do, and that's just scratching the surface of some of the things that it can do, man. You're going to see them simulate probably entire camp speakings and just create BS. And the level of propaganda they're going to be able to push with this technology is going to be on a whole nother level. So they're getting ready to move into a full AI governance system. And everybody says 2030. Man, this thing could be before that. This could be before that, man. You know what I'm saying? So did you have any opening statements?
Nah, we can get straight into it, man. Yeah, come.
All right, I'm gonna play this clip. And Shalom Metal Yashwan, but I sent you the link if you want to jump in. Let's see. The first clip I had was at minute 28. So let's go to that.
All of us, like, let's all get in a room Let's develop AI for the benefit of everyone. Everyone is going to make a lot of money in the first, 5 years, but nobody's going to need money after 5 years anyway, because everything will be available for free. Can we please play along? And the bully doesn't want to do that, which upsets the rest of us.
We'll get back to the show in a moment, but first, let's talk about the most valuable resource in business.
Let's not
actually focus on tomorrow's opportunities. Over 41,000 businesses do exactly this with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP. That's a really clear way of expressing what you were talking about at the beginning, which is that my worry isn't AI. My worry is, you said greed. I'm going to broaden it out to the human ego and all of its complexities.
100%.
And for people that have never heard of Thucydides' trap, it goes like this. You have, this is literally from ancient Greece, and they recognized when you have one great power that is declining and you have another great power that is rising, as will happen on a never-ending cycle, the declining power absolutely refuses to relent and acknowledge the rising power as their peer, or God forbid, as somebody that has surpassed them. And the rising power will simply not accept not being recognized for the power that they have become. And so
what he's talking about is basically this Cold War battle propaganda between the United States and China towards the space wars, controlling the AI technology and being at the forefront of tech. And what he's saying is something called Euclides' trap. That is an old Greek philosophy. That is that, the United States as a declining empire will do anything it can to, basically vie itself as the supreme power in the world. And it's all propaganda because, like we always been telling you guys, the United States and China are headed towards the same system, same goal, same thing, which is a, overarching AI governing system that controls your world, where you're chipped, where you're plugged into this AI brain system, and basically the oligarchs and the technocrats rule your world. That's what they want. Okay. And he's talking about them fighting over this. We read it all the time in Second Ezra, the 15th, I believe, the 15th or 16th chapter, talking about woe unto you, Babylon and Asia. Woe unto Asia. It's basically they're going into the same thing that the West is doing. And having this battle is going to lead to them having to present a solution for peace, which is going to be an overarching system.
So this setup becomes really predictable historically, because what you have is this impulse to protectionism on the part of the declining power that's like, whoa, hold on a second, like we did this globalist thing, it's made our enemy more powerful, we want to now try to cut them off, we want to retain our power. They start bullying.
What is protectionism? Protectionism is a nationalistic ideology of saying, hey, we need to protect the industries and institutions of our nation and make sure that we're putting ourselves first. The whole MAGA thing with Trump is a protectionist stance and viewpoint. And really, when you look at the nations around the world, all nations around the world, we saw what happened with Brexit, and that was a protectionist kind of like ideology. And it talks about that in Isaiah, the 47th chapter. All the nations are going to want to go back to their own countries and do their own things and look for their own personal, gain. And that fracture, yeah, you got it out.
No, I was just gonna say, like, they sold the UK out because UK's messed up right now. Because none of the benefits that they said they were gonna get from Brexit happened. None. Obviously the rich have gotten richer, but overall they were supposed to be bringing back, manufacturing and all that stuff. None of that happened. It's just, now they're trying to join back in. Because it's messed up, man. The people are hurt. because they actually lost out on a few benefits from being in the EU.
Look at that. Look at that. And it's all a plan to get the people put in a hyperinflationary situation so they'll beg for a solution. And that's what they needed to do with the UK being the premier nation over there in Europe. And that's what they're doing to the US. And so when you have these two nations at the forefront of wanting to help and wanting to basically jump back into a globalist system, what do you think that system's going to be? It's going to be this AI governing MOTB system that's being formulated right in your face. And everybody's in on it, including the Sheeple, even us. We're helping. When we interact with Grok, when we interact with Chat GPT, when we interact with all of these systems, it's just like Johnny Five, input. They're seeing how much data that they can process in one time. And it's just getting better and better and better and better as they lay out more supercomputing technology, more data centers, and more infrastructure for the MOTB system. They need that.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you notice, like a lot of things that Trump is doing, when he what was it, 500 billion or whatever it is that when he first came in, one of the first thing he did was he outlined a lot of money to invest in the AI infrastructure. I believe if you look into the big, I don't even like saying that, but that's what they call it, the big beautiful bill. There's I think there's legislation in there to allow them to more easily develop the AI in terms of the legislation surrounding it. So none of these things that they're doing that's part of the New World Order setup gets challenged by the courts. You know what I'm saying? Like these things just go through and they're done and we're expected to just forget about it. But it happened. Because it's part of what they're building. It's necessary for the system of control that they want to build, that they have the AI in order to manage the system in real time, because it's a complicated system. We're talking about billions of people.
Exactly. Now this big better bill is they want to get this thing done by the 4th of July, Independence Day, passed through the Senate and the House. So they're trying to move.
Did they say that specifically?
Yeah.
What the 4th of July was actually the founding of the Illuminati.
Look at that.
What's his name? Adam Weishaupt. You know, the 4th of July. So that's really what they, so that says a lot right there.
It's a lot of magic. It's been a lot of magic going, like we said, since the Paris Olympics. There's been nothing but seances and magic going on, man. So we're looking at it, bro. We're looking at all of this stuff, and the people are eating it up. The people are eating it up. I'm gonna keep playing this.
They will inevitably be up to their eyeballs in debt, which read Ray Dalio. Like he just pegs this as hey, you can just watch the debt and you know how this is going to play out. And so here we are, but this time on the cusp of building a super intelligence. And every time that I go through, because I think anybody watching, their impulse is going to be to say, hey, whoa, if we're talking about a rate of change here that is just insanity, we need to pump the brakes. Like, why aren't we doing that? And then you remember that you have two great powers staring at each other. Both recognize AI as the most tremendous weapon since nuclear. And so they are each stuck in the prisoner's dilemma. If I don't do it, I know they're going to do it. And so it is an existential need to be the one to develop this first. And so there are no breaks.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, and you know, I'm too small to show this to the world, and it's frustrating.
So they're going to use each other being a threat to each other to basically move this into hyperdrive, to move this faster. And what you're going to hear about more and more and more is cybercrime. Okay. As a matter of fact, I want them to break that down a little bit more. Let me see.
Yeah,
In
it's beautiful because that's something I always said, that look for them to start saying that the best form of cyber defense is an AI.
Yep.
You know, to you know, then they can have it controlling the system, policing the system. Yeah, it's heavy.
Mhm. And so now what you're going to see is them talking about how AI is being used to scam this person, steal this, do this. And so there's going to be a need for overarching regulatory worldwide system. Okay.
talking about the idea, actually, no, it was with Scott Galloway. Scott, you know how Scott is, you know, very, very pro doing, you know, what needs to be done. And I unfortunately believe that, and there is no logical way on the game board in my mind for someone to win intelligence supremacy. So you have America trying to accelerate a Cold War where they want to have the biggest bomb, AI bomb in that case. You know, it seems that the world is not responding the same way. Actually, again, if you look at it internationally, the Chinese are really not trying to, but every now and then they sort of say, look, we can if we want to. But the problem here is this. This is not an AI only war, okay? This is an AI war that where one bully is trying to get everyone into submission in a world with major nuclear powers, okay? This is the shittiest idea ever, okay? And the problem is very straightforward. The problem is if you try to get someone to submission, as soon as they feel that they're about to be submitting, this is going to escalate out of proportions.
And this is what's going to happen with the world. You know, Elias Schwab was talking about this at the camp yesterday, how the United States have these political allies or these economic allies, but they're shaky, they're iffy, and at any moment they can turn on the United States. And so the whole thing is a powder keg that's literally getting ready to implode. Then they're putting all the pieces together for everybody to get jacked up, bro. Which is beautiful. It's beautiful, man. Psalm 17 and 13, it says, Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and they leave the rest of their substance to their babes. All right. And so they're proud, man. And they're going to move in pride in a way that they should not. And it's going to lead to what? Total destruction. It's going to lead to Armageddon. Piece by piece by piece. This is what we're looking at. All right. All right. So we'll go to this next point. And if you have some, Mark, just holler, by the way, because I'm not looking at the screen.
Kinda.
The Cold War of intelligence supremacy, right? And the other war is, I truly and honestly fear instability in America, right? I truly and honestly don't understand how all of my friends, some of which are millionaires, okay, will survive this. Because unless you have all of your money in gold, maybe, I don't know, even gold is not safe, right? What will you do? What can you do? You know, from a liquidity point of view, that asset called the US dollar is not going to buy you the same things as it did last year. And you have to walk the streets of New York. Oh my God. I haven't been to New York for a while, and then I went a month ago. This is, I'm sorry, this is a dump. This is like, compared to Shanghai, this is Delhi.
It's an absolute shithole, New York. And there's several cities like San Francisco, LA, all these huge major cities, even Dallas. Dallas used to be way nicer 10, 15 years ago. Now it's a shithole downtown. Homeless people everywhere. It stinks. You know, Texas wasn't really like that. Texas was more clean. When you get outside of Dallas, it gets more clean. But Well, you go to these big major cities, man, like a Houston, a New York, an LA, you would think that this nation, being the richest nation in the history of the world, would just be opulent, nice, clean. Bro, even London is a shithole. You know? It's like you hear about these cities and you always have these aspirations to visit these places, like, man. And then you get there and it's like, what the hell? And then did you see that video of Tucker Carlson when he went to Moscow? Did you see that, Op? You on mute, Op.
I didn't watch the whole thing. No,
Bro,
I
it was
just watched when he was sitting with Putin.
it was pretty. He went to the grocery store. It was gorgeous. And so
Yeah,
he's like, what? He's just like, wow.
yeah, that's the new world, because a lot of these things were built recently. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Whereas these the old world, they've been lagging behind by design. You
Right.
know, a lot of what they've been doing is really in the West. The elites of the West have been farming the people, taking all
Mm-hmm.
of the profits for themselves. Because America's not a poor country.
Right.
The 1% have been taking everything and not giving nothing back. Same thing with the UK. They taking it all and not giving nothing back, and that's why the economy is where it's at, and people are complaining. And now they think Trump is going to change that, but they're not. He's not going to change that. It's going to continue. The 1% are going to continue taking everything, man. You know what I mean?
Time. They could never have enough, man. They could never have enough. You know?
Yeah, because that's the real issue with America. You know, the whole thing that they've been having over the last 4 or 5 months, they've been pushing that China's been robbing America through trade. That's all BS. Ain't nobody been robbing America. America's rich as hell. They've been making money, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
just who makes the money in America.
Time.
That's what it is. It's like it's how the wealth is being distributed within America. Not so much that the other nations have been robbing America. That's stupid. You know what I mean? Like they've been making crazy. Like all the top companies are American companies, man.
Yeah.
Microsoft, Apple. How you mean? Who's been robbing them? No,
Right.
they've been robbing the American people and make wealth has been up to the top. And them guys, then they go to Monaco and Dubai and places like that, and they live like kings, while the average Americans cost of living and everything's going up, and their wealth has been going down.
Time.
And then all the amenities that they're supposed to have from living in the first world, they don't have, because there's no reinvestment into the country. So you're not getting the best of the infrastructure that you should have. Meanwhile, in China, their government's investing in the infrastructure. And that's where you're seeing the difference in two worlds.
Mm-hmm.
But now,
Right.
they want to blame it on immigration and no, it's your own elites. They had the money to make New York and Dallas into flipping cities of the future with all kind of crazy infrastructure. Of course, they had the money. They spent the money on war.
Facts. Facts. Yep. They're gonna be spending a lot more because it ain't over. You know, they just scratching the surface, man.
It's deteriorating infrastructure wise. California.
What's that scripture? Is it in Isaiah? The worm beneath? What am I thinking about? Let me see. Find it real quick. Can't spell it. Isaiah 14. Read that real quick. Isaiah 14 and In 9, it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And that's what he's kind of lamenting over looking at New York, right? Right? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? You say, and we see that because you've been mired in war and spreading yourself about, taking on that debt. You look at the infrastructure around America, and it's trash. But they're gonna say that this AI is the solution. AI is gonna bring a utopia. You're not gonna have to work because people are. That's why you got all these people complaining about work. And a lot of this stuff is propaganda. Probably a lot of it is AI too. People complaining about, I can't do this 9 to 5 shit no more. You done took my food stamps. What do you think is going to be the solution to all of that stuff? AI governance, AI taking over all of these labor, all these jobs. Them saying, oh, we've saved so much money by utilizing, robotics and AI. We can just funnel all the profits back to the people as a UBI check. We're going to profit share with the consumers. All right. You're going to get credits for doing this and doing that and doing this. We'll give you a digital account that'll credit you for doing these great things for the environment, great things for society. All right. That'll be the solution. And it's going to be your AI utopia. Meanwhile, you're just being put deeper and deeper into their slavery and control.
California is deteriorating infrastructure-wise. Some parts of the US are holding it together, but everywhere is just, and I don't know how people are sustaining all of this. So there is an opportunity, believe it or not, and I say that openly in Alive. I say,
when you listen to these heathens, they have no idea what the hell is going on. They really think they're going to just keep going forever and forever and forever.
AI is not the existential risk of humanity. It is our salvation. It can solve all of those problems. All we need is for the top guys to say, all right, you know what? Open letter, suspend AI for 6 months doesn't work. Okay? Let's just pull all of our efforts together.
You see the ridiculousness of what he's saying right here? We just need all the top guys to magically turn into righteousness.
Yeah.
We just need all of these evil satanic bastards to magically turn into good guys.
Yeah.
Just delusional talk.
Yeah, absolutely. And that shows you that it also goes back to the spirit, man. Like, identifying that the only righteous rulership there's gonna be is the rulership of Yahweh Shai in the earth, man. With King David and the 144,000. That Esau, Edom, and these heathens ain't it.
Yeah, they ain't got it. They don't have a clue. Isaiah 8:20 says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. And that's what you hear when you hear these guys, man. They bring out good information, but you listen to their reasoning and their logic, there's no spirit in them to really understand where this thing is going. They're just sheeple.
Yeah. And they're not spiritual because ultimately the supreme intelligence already existed. We don't need to create no super intelligence. We had a super intelligence. That's the Most High. He's the supreme intelligence. The Bible tells you that he is a God of all knowledge, tells you all wisdom coming from him, right? And he gave us a way of life to live in earth that would solve all the problems that all these people are complaining about. Like, the solution already existed. So then to now pretend that Esau's going to create the solution is pure arrogance and hubris.
cracked out, cracked out, right? All right. So let me go to this next point. People are just insane. Where is it at? I think it's right about here. They really think that this is utopia, man.
So having your lens on the way that we look to the outside world is incredibly advantageous. Your view on China, which is very different than mine, is very advantageous, and you're giving me a lot to pursue when we're done talking here. Now, I think, understanding your perspective, how do you see this moment playing out? I see us in China on a collision course. You're telling me I'm probably misreading China. And that there's certainly an appeal to be made to the US government to not perceive China as a military threat for sure. So with your perspective, what do you see the Cold War's role being in this transitionary period before we get to that age of abundance?
I unfortunately believe that this concentration of power, or that race for supremacy that leads to concentration of power, okay, is going to hurt us both ways. One way, as I said, just so that we get back to AI, is that someone will attempt to reach supremacy first, okay, and as they do, they will have a massive fear of the democratization of power that's happening. Because, you know, you and I can sit down today and write code and, you know, launch drones and use a CRISPR code to launch a virus in the world. It's open source, believe it or not. It's it's
so what he's setting up is like there's this race going on, and so there's a race to be the best at this, you know, artificial super intelligence and who's going to control it. Right now, it's seemingly public access to these technologies, right? We all have what's seeming like access to these AI, to this technology. It's open source code. People can do this, people can do that, which is going to bring a rise in artificial intelligent crime. There's going to be there's going to be a boom of crime via artificial intelligence, and this type of crime is going to be in a way that the world has not ever seen before. So that crime is going to lead to a power vacuum of control. That is a problem, reaction, solution. They want the people to interact with the AI so they can blame the people for the problem of how it shut down the electrical grid or crashed out all the banking system and sucked out everybody's money or whatever they bring up. You know what I'm saying? And so the writing is on the wall for them to do a whole complete internet digital crackdown, you know, sooner rather than later. This is the devices of the wicked, you know, they're crafty.
It's $2,500, I think, a kit or something like that. You can do so much with democratization of power that the very immediate relationship of this dichotomy is a suppression of freedom. Okay, so those who are in power will start to surveil everyone, will start to push everyone down, will start to control everyone through your bank accounts, through your UBI. When UBI is launched, you know, it's almost that dystopian view of a world where if you don't comply, you don't live another day. Okay, so this, unfortunately, how extreme it will happen, I don't know. It could be one day, it could be a year. But it is on the horizon that a mixture of concentration of power and democratization of power will lead to more oppression of freedom, right?
You get that? I'm gonna replay that.
Is launched, you know, it's almost that dystopian view of.
And this view is described in Revelation, the 13th chapter. It's described. Revelation, the 13th chapter, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell. And people are underestimating. You get these other Israelite groups, and they don't understand the breadth of the statement that no man might buy or sell save that he that had the mark. Your life in this world is centered around what you can buy and sell. Your ability to transact in the world, transact in your community is paramount for you to do anything, man. To control that key point is to literally control the world. A kingdom is based in buying and selling, the movement of goods, and the control of services, and the exchange of ideas and thought and tangible and intangible things too. If you control that, you run the world, man. So when you read this in verse 17, this is a major statement. And in verse 16 is letting you know that it's touching every facet of society. Small, great, rich, poor, free, bond. That no man might buy or sell save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So what he's saying is there's going to be a dystopian event or time where you have the people that control artificial superintelligence and all the agencies that go along with it run everything and control you, man. This is what we're leading into. The scriptures talk about this, man. Well, I just read it. and I'm going to tell you, people will love to have it so. If the elect are very, very few. We that are resistant to that idea are very few. Very few. Okay? Most people will love, especially this guy, will love to have it so. All right? You have to understand that.
Of a world where if you don't comply, you don't live another day. Okay?
And that's what it talks about in the book of Revelation, the 14th chapter. You don't want to take this mark, they're gonna look to take you out, man. They're gonna look to kill you. All right? But if you do take that mark, what's gonna actually happen is you're gonna be marked for death from the Heavenly Father, man.
So this, unfortunately, how extreme it will happen.
You're going to be seen as a terrorist if you don't want to comply to this new AI governance system. And just like during the time of the jab, where you had people that didn't want to take the jab, they were being vilified publicly. You know, I remember Stephen A. Smith screaming and spitting when basketball players and football players didn't want to take the jab, tripping. How much more so if there's some type of AI viral plague that's destroying all digital systems and making people's lives miserable, and you don't want to take the chip during that time to make things better, to make things more safe. You like, I don't want to do that. People are going to look at you like you're crazy and you holding back progress. All right, you have people at other people's jobs telling on one another, getting people fired. He didn't take the jab. He didn't take the jab. That's a fake. He's got a fake certificate. How much more so when this new thing happens? Okay. These things are coming down the pipe. Quick. Real quick. All right. Isaiah 32:6, it says, for the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord. All right, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the true are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. So these things are coming down the pipe, and it's moving quick, man. All right.
I don't know. It could be one day. It could be a year. But it is on the horizon that a mixture of concentration of power and democratization of power will lead to more oppression of freedom, right? The other side of this is the struggle between the top powers, right? So the two top powers for now there could be a third, okay? But unlikely, but the two top powers will compete, okay? And the problem is supremacy is the worst outcome that we can get in a world where major nuclear powers exist.
And he's telling you right now it's going to lead to World War III. It's going to lead to thermonuclear destruction. Whoever's trying to control this new digital AI governance MOTB system, the fight to control it is going to lead to a global war. All right. This next, the last Cold War built the weapons and the systems that's necessary to finish this new digital Cold War.
Okay, because if we get to a point where someone recognizes
Bro, why is PSG beating the shit out of Inter Milan like this?
Cool.
Goodness gracious.
Cool.
Absolutely toast. Anyway.
supremacy on the other side, they will retaliate. And they will retaliate in a war that will quickly escalate to the highest level. Because this is everything on stake. Right? On stake, in stake, at stake, right? So everything is everything's at stake. And so when the stakes are high, the response, the retaliation becomes higher. Okay. Neither of those scenarios are scenarios you want. What you actually want is you want to distribute power. Okay.
And that's not what's going to happen, man. There's a power vacuum, and Esau is going to want the power, and all the nations and Esau himself are going to fight. That's why I want to play this clip. Okay. So they're going to be running and chasing after this. They both are chasing for the MOTB system. They're not chasing after something different. Everybody's chasing after the control of this new digital AI governance world. And it's going to lead to absolute destruction and mayhem. And for the most part, the people are going to eat it up. The people are going to absolutely eat it up. Okay? I want to play this clip. Well, I'm going to play this with. Right. Proverbs 14 and 15. It says, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well into his goings. Okay? A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. And most of these people are just like that. They're just fools. They're numbskulls. Numbskulls. All right? They're gonna run this thing down, and they're not gonna stop. So yesterday at the camp, there was a fan expo of comic books and wrestling and all that, right, in Dallas. And two Edomites walk up, and the spirit jumped on Elder Yashawamba to engage them. And at one point, I'm just gonna skip to this part right here at minute 17. Elder Yashawamba asked a question. And listen to the answer.
He's in politics. Yeah. He's the president.
Right. That's why righteousness will never come forth from it.
What the hell are you doing with this?
Right.
We're spending too much money here. But Trump's got to play in the middle.
Lastly,
a little bit here.
Right. I got you. Lastly, we're going to get a scripture, but I want to ask you, what do you think about the brain chip aspect of what Elon and Trump and AI?
Sure.
What do you think about that? What do you think about it? No, what do you think about it?
I like it.
Okay. Would you be open to putting a chip?
I like it.
In your hand or in your forehead to function on Earth?
So, America.
It's either yay and nay. I need a yay and nay. Would you take a chip?
Not yet.
Not yet. So you would eventually.
No, but not yet. So in Europe, they do a lot of things like you get on a plane. Right. They're taking your.
And he's saying not yet, but really, if things got pressed, the answer is absolutely yes. That's why he says, when Elder Yashawamba asked him, what do you think about brain chips and stuff like that? He said, what? I like it. I like it. And that's the mentality of most of these people.
And that's because, the media through Hollywood has done a great job to show it as like a augmentation. Like an improvement.
Right.
They like you're gonna become a superpowered, or when really what it is you're just gonna become a slave. They're gonna be able to control you. But they see it as something where you like a mobile phone. You know how a mobile phone makes you more efficient, it helps you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the brain chip will make you smarter, it makes you more competitive. That's the way they see it. You know, so they it's basically like the left hand side version of the new covenant. You know, where it's built on better promises. Like, yeah, you're a dumbass. You can't, you know, you can't get right. You can't get your straight A's. Well, you know, this thing will make you more competitive, more efficient. You know, it's just. But with us, we're looking for the spiritual augmentation. You know.
That's right. And so now when you got people using, you know, Gronk, Chat GPT, Gemini to enhance their ability to write, to enhance their ability to create, to give them better ideas about certain things. The idea is, oh, I can have Gronk inside my brain helping me. I can have Chat GPT. I can become super powered like that and have access to all the world's knowledge and information at a thought. Sign me up. As long as I know I'm safe, as long as I know I'm not gonna die. That's how these people are, man. Listen to what he says. Let me go back. I like it.
Right, I got you. I got you. Lastly, we're gonna get a scripture, but I want to ask you, what do you think about the brain chip aspect of what Elon and Trump and AI?
Sure.
What do you think about that? What do you think about it? No, what do you think about it?
I like it.
Okay. Would you be open to putting a chip in your hand or in your forehead to function on Earth?
So, America.
It's either yay and nay. I need a yay and nay. Would you take a chip?
Not yet.
Not yet. So you would eventually.
No, but not yet. So in Europe, they do a lot of things like you get on a plane, they're taking your picture before they get on the plane.
Right.
They do a lot of stuff there that people here in America lose their mind over. They're already doing it here in America. Mm-hmm. But it's not in your face.
Yeah.
It's not in your face. So they don't realize that we're doing it here in America.
Yes, gradualism.
People catch up with China. Realize that we're doing it already.
Right.
It's just they would lose their mind.
So you would take a chip?
I would.
Okay.
I would.
That's it.
Because that's where the world is going.
That's where you got to do what you got to do.
That's the thing that I think is happening.
Yeah. Boom. So he just straight up said, I would. You know? This is the sentiment of the average Western mind. Really the average person, not just in the West, in the world. So when we come out here and we're preaching against the Motb and we're telling people not to take it, it's a very small group of people that have that sentiment and are willing to fight back against it. You know? Very, very small. Proverbs 1:22 says, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity, and scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye refuse, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. A lot of Jake is going to take that chip, and a lot of these people that's calling themselves Israelites are going to take that chip in that time. Okay? They don't understand how it's full obeisance to the beast system. You've gone from worshiping the image to branding yourself with that image inside of you with a mark, right? But ye have said, and not all my counsel, and with none of my reproof, I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, right? So this is what's going to happen. When you read about this in the book of Revelation, you read about the destruction of people that take their mark. Revelation 19:20 says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These were both cast alive into the lake of fire, burning and brimstone. All of the people that are down with this system are going to be destroyed with the coming of the Lord. Now, I'm going to play this one last clip just to kind of bring it on home. Check this out. Oh, I can't remember. I'll Play right here.
Interesting. Biologically, they are a better physical specimen. Okay. And honestly, the fact that they have 50 or 100 or 200 IQ points less than you is irrelevant. I already have thousands. Right? You know, and then she went on and said, oh, but you know what? I'd integrate with a sea turtle so that, you know, I can live for a very long time and enjoy the peace and beautiful sceneries of the sea. We are so deluded, okay, to believe that we matter that much. If the second dilemma becomes true and we hand over to the machines, in my perception, they'll make us their lovely pets. Like, you guys, you know, live here, everything is provided, you know, just don't bother me too much. And, you know, I'm going to go and ponder the cosmos and see, you know, how wormholes really work. But are you guys okay? Are you eating? Are you happy? Are you having sex? Everything's fine? That's, you know, I don't see any other scenario.
All right, let me paint another scenario for you. I think you and I have talked about this before, but about 5 years ago, I wrote a comic book called Neon Future that was me struggling with at the time. What does, and for people that don't know, BCI, brain computer interface, that was asking the question, what does that look like on a long enough timeline? And much like we've talked about today, there's this interim period problem always, where the human mind resists change. And so I set the story in that moment where some people have integrated AI and technology into their bodies, and some people, as a religious act, refuse to do so. And so I call them, and not in the story, but I think of them now as neo-Puritans. And so I think there's a religious collision that
Esau always has a label, doesn't he? He always has a categorization. He loves to make up words and terms.
Neo-Puritan.
Neo-Puritan. Now, if you don't want to take the mark, you're a neo-Puritan. So now look what he's about to say.
That's going to happen between people that are integrating technology 100%. Into their bodies basically as fast as they can, against people who feel that that's an affront to God and that they would never want to do that. And how do you see that moment playing?
See how he knows about the mark of the beast. He knows that in the book of Revelation that it's talking about that, right? He understands that. But check this
out. Do you feel, to say it very pointedly, do you feel that ultimately humans are a midwife species to synthetic intelligence?
May I ask first, which one would you be?
Oh, for sure. I would integrate technology. I won't be an early adopter just because I worry about something going wrong. But the set, they would never want to do that. And how do you see that moment playing out? Do you feel, to say it very pointedly, do you feel that ultimately humans are a midwife species to synthetic intelligence?
May I ask first, which one would you be?
Oh, for sure. I would integrate technology. I won't be an early adopter just because I worry about.
Boy, Esau, boy. Oh, for sure.
Them heirs look like you integrated technology already, but yeah, a lot of these so-called influencers, which they're just the neo celebrities, they're gonna be influencing people to take this thing, you know. Most of them are juiced into the same program, so they're gonna start getting, these influencers integrating into these systems.
Yep.
And get the followers to follow them. Mr. Beast, Kai Cenat,
yep.
Speed. We all know the names. These are just
check this out. Check this out. Oh man, that's fire, right?
Khan. Yeah, but they're the new celebrities, man. They're more influential than the Hollywood actors now. You know, and they're just as controlled. If people didn't know, you know, they're all managed by the same company.
Yep, the same 2-3 companies, man. You know, so they're on it.
Ultimately, humans are a midwife species.
And you know what? Can I say something, man? This is the thing. It's like these guys are just so disrespectful because there is no midwife species. There's no problem with the species, period. You know, the issue has always been that stony heart that's stopped us from reaching our full potential. And when I say our, I'm talking about the Israelites, the sons of God. Because we were just reading it at camp just now, you know, about how, you know, the Lord is going to change us, man. You know, the Lord is going to bring in that new covenant, which is going to perfect us. That is the perfection. You know, it's through the Lord, right? He's going to bring us to the next level, right? That height of human intelligence, wisdom, and understanding is through the Lord. And this idea that we're just some species, but Esau is going to invent some kind of technology that's going to take us to the next frontier. It's nothing but hubris and arrogance. You know, it's absolutely, it's pride. You know, and anyone that's buying into that, you've chosen your team to think that this dude is the one that's going to take us to the next level. No, it's the next level's already been written and prophesied through the Heavenly Father and his prophets, that through the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, the sons of God are going to emerge. And it's not going to be through technology. It's not going to be through some microchip or any of that foolishness. It's going to be on a whole different level. And we're going to be changed in one moment, in the blink, in the twinkling of an eye. We're going to be changed, man, and upgraded. And so the choice is, do you believe in what the Most High said he gonna do? Or do you believe in people like Elon Musk, these devils, and you wanna choose their route, their salvation, their covenant? But there's two covenants available.
Absolutely. That's what we're gonna do. Ezekiel 36:25. Then will I sprinkle water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols I will cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh, a heart of life, of liveliness, not of stubbornness, right, and disobedience. Right? We're gonna have a mind to follow Yahweh Shem Yahushua to the T. Right? And I will put my spirit within you, and I'll cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. That's that transition period. That's what we're looking for. Okay?
That's right. And we're gonna get access to all that. You know, people forget that Yahweh Shai performed many miracles.
That's right.
He said that we're gonna do even greater things than what we even, we read about. And I always go back into the spiritual Google. How did Yahweh Shai know that woman had 7 husbands? Because he tapped into the spiritual Google. You know what I mean? The essence, the purity of truth and knowledge that we're gonna get access to. But people think that this Esau's fake Google tells you the truth, but it don't.
Nope.
The human database is only based upon what people have put in there. So AI could never be fully truthful because it's based upon the information that Esau has put in there. And we know that history is not 100% accurate. We know that a lot of events are not 100% accurate. I'm sure if you ask the AI about 9/11, they're going to stick to the official story.
Exactly.
So everything Esau's doing is bootleg, it's fake, it seems impressive. But if you actually read the scriptures, what Yahweh Shai was doing and is doing, and what the Lord represents, is something so far and above anything Esau can put before us.
That's right.
You know, we are intelligences that the Lord created already. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lord's already been there and done that. And these dudes are, oh, I'm gonna create AI. Like, it's disrespectful, it's arrogant to choose Esau over the Most High.
Yeah. Facts. Facts, man. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9 says, but as it is written, I have not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, have prepared for them that love him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As time goes on, people are forgetting more and more about the miracles that the Lord has done and the creation that the Lord has created. And they're focusing more on this new age technology that Esau's bringing, as if anything Esau's done to this day can match what the Lord has already done.
Right. Right.
And I'm a biology man, and I can tell you the human body is crazy.
For sure.
His brother knows that, yo, the human body is absolutely insane. Unmatched.
Right. Yeah, it is definitely wonderfully made. It's wonderfully made. We were wonderfully made. When you start to study things from all the systems of the body, from the integumentary system to the nervous system, the lymphatic system, all the systems of the body, when you see how they interact with one another and how intricate the Most High was with his creation, it shows you the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man.
And he got one upgrade left.
Right.
He still ain't, you know what they say, this the beta, you waiting for the, he still got
Right.
one upgrade left, man. That's going.
Yeah. It's gonna put all of this other stuff to bed, man. For sure. You know? So did you have any other? So man, that's all the clips I had, and I just wanted to bring that out.
No, that's it. It's good points, man. Everything is still the same as it always is. Like exactly as we've been documenting, and as the prophecies say, Esau moving closer and closer. The infrastructure is getting more and more complete, and then eventually they're just going to bring that crisis that's going to pressure everybody into wanting to partake in this new system. And you look, man, everything that's happened over the last 3 months, the tariffs and all this, these things that's happening, it's all gonna lead towards, where we want to be, which is chaos. And like, the elders already shown, people are kind of already primed and ready to accept this technology.
They ready.
They're ready to accept it, especially if it is perceived that it can save their life or be super convenient for them. They don't have a actual moral or principled reason for not taking it. And the main group of people outside of us who would have had a problem with it, well, they're too busy, celebrating Trump every headline and every tweet. So they gonna take it as long as they call it a Trump chip, So
yeah.
it's amazing to watch, man. We're so close to it, man. And it seems like AI really is one of those final pieces of the puzzle that needs to fit in. But just think about how much these things are now part of our lives in terms of how much we use AI every day now without knowing it.
Just that quickly, we use it to formulate lessons and do other things too. So, Jake be arguing with AI, telling the AI is wrong, and the AI be backing up sometimes. Like, you know what? That does make sense. Like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, 100%, man. So we gotta just keep watching. Stay locked in. This thing ain't far, man. Things are gonna get exponentially. Things are moving faster and faster, man. So yeah, man, this is great stuff, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. If you haven't watched that video, bro, go. It's 2 hours, bro. But they talk about a whole bunch of stuff in this video, man. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and the age. Oh, another thing, the age of abundance. It's that terminology there. It's basically this Lord said, "I come to give them life and life more abundantly." So they're promising you what the Lord promising.
Yeah, yep, right. And this guy was pushing it. We're gonna have to go through this hard time before we get to an AI utopia where it's going to do all the work for us, and we're just going
Yep.
to kick back in. They're going to
And
clean the water. Fuck
And I don't know if you've noticed, I don't know what it's like in the US. I've seen a few videos, but I don't live there, so I don't know exactly what's happening on the ground. But here in the UK, it's like everyone's getting squeezed more and more. People that are losing their jobs are finding it difficult to get a new job, or at least get a new job that matches the previous salary that they were receiving. The job market is just in the mud right now. So
Yeah.
more and more people are, when you're telling people about this age of abundance, and I can have all the things that I see on social media that I can't have, because a lot of people, when you speak to them, they're wondering how they think everyone's enjoying themselves because of social media. So they're like, how is everyone affording these things? When the reality is that social media is not real. So it's like people are put more and more in a situation through their own covetousness that if they're offered the promise of this abundance, yeah, of course they're going to take the chip. They're suffering. They got student loan debt. They got all these problems. And if you tell them that this new system will do away with all those problems, yeah, of course they're going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No, it's the same here, man. You have functional unemployment. And, you know, I remember, you know, this is something we pull brothers to the side and talk about. Don't quit your job. This is, you know, a year and a half ago, we were warning brothers, don't quit your job right now. You want to just stay on where you're at because there's going to be a squeeze. And we're seeing that squeeze, you know. They're not even allowing people that have been on the job forever to get promotions like they should. So there's a squeeze in general around the world or in the West on employment, and you got the working poor. You working, you putting in all these hours, and you're still underwater. You're still in debt, and you're chasing interest rates and a batya debt. So these people, like you just said, the people are primed to take this MOTV, bro. All they need is just the reason to. So in those times, man. But you got any other final words? Anything else?
Nah, man, just trust in the Lord, man, and that's it. That's the main thing. Just trust in His promise and follow after the protocols that the Lord set, and don't follow Esau, man, and you be all right.
God, absolutely, man. So with that, man, we're gonna say call hello Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to y'all come out there pushing the word of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah, sincere and true. Shalom.
Shalom.